still feel it's Kira. I think I'm just not clicking right. I have to look at the book and remember that the spell has to be done in like a close quarter, like close range type of thing. And Kira said she saw the bucket from that far away. Without her glasses at that, she's lying. There's only one place she could be, which was right next to Espella. Come on, hurry up.
Got it!
Right there. Alright, cool. The witch must have been standing here.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? Unfortunately for you, that spot has absolutely nothing to do with any of these witnesses.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, I suggest you try taking a look at this. The Grand Grimoire. According to this tome, Ignace summons a circle of flame within a 1 meter radius of the caster. In other words, the witch had to have been within 1 meter of the flame when casting the spell.
Objection!
Of course, you needn't say any more, Sir Blue Knight. First off, notice that there is no one else in that area other than the accused. It should also be quite obvious from the sketch that there's clearly nowhere for anyone to hide.
Objection!
True, there aren't any hiding spots. However, there is one other possibility if a witch wanted to stay hidden from sight. Most intriguing. Since you seem to love showing evidence, prove it. How was the witch able to hide in plain sight?
Take that!
This Talia Magica contains 2 magic gems. Ignace and one other spell. That's right, the spell, Demir. Demir? It cannot be. That's right. There was most certainly a witch present at the crime scene, only they were completely invisible. All thanks to the magic spell, Demir. What foolishness is this? I'm banking on Kira. Kira, you're gonna get toasted. Order in the court. Defender, what are you getting at? I thought the witch used Demir to make the Talia Magica disappear.
Objection!
According to the Grand Grimoire, under the entry for Demir, it causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. In other words, supposing the witch were holding the staff in one hand while touching part of their body with the other, they would be able to make themselves disappear. Are you implying that that is the reason for the conflicting number of witnesses? Indeed, it is. Which means, witnesses. Someone amongst you is not disclosing the entire truth. That person is the witch we seek. I believe this is the most possible scenario. Probable. Honorable witnesses, you will testify to the court one final time. Tell us exactly what you saw and what you did not see at the scene of the crime. How absurdly absurd. The purpose of this trial is to convict that girl of the crime, is it not? That's right, we are not witches. Witnesses, I ask that you listen. There is a witch mingling among you. That's right. I'm afraid you are all no longer brothers in arms. The true opponent here is within your own group. The real witch is one of these 5 witnesses, huh? Fine by me. Time to put an end to this trial. It matters not. Would the flames not burn just the same? That flame, I never saw anything like it. It quite literally left me speechless. I couldn't even so much as scream.
I heard the tiniest cry, and then when I turned around, the blighters were roasted, so I rushed right over.
I heard the incantation, then the flames suddenly erupted. I'm certain of it. I only saw 3 people, 3 with us.
As I said, there were only 3 other persons, like that man there, who was stumbling around like a newborn calf. A most heinous act indeed. No small wonder these witnesses are so confused.
A witch amongst the witnesses. What an utterly baseless claim. I don't think so, Barnum. The only baseless claim in this case is of Espella being a witch. It's more than a little likely one of these witnesses is the culprit. These testimonies are bound to tell me who the real witch is. Okay, here we go.
Hold it!
It must have been pretty terrifying, huh? Yes, it's the kind of thing you only read about in books. The moment that pillar of fire erupted, I could feel my throat tightening up. It was so difficult to breathe, I couldn't even manage so much as to scream. Quite. After all, the flames engulfed the scene in the blink of an eye. Yes, I'm sorry, that's why I can't really remember.
So you can't remember the number of people at the crime scene naturally. That is understandable, witness.
That's also why I was a little late getting to the scene compared to the others.
Hold it!
I'm gonna press all of them just for the heck of it. In other words, you're not sure exactly what happened tonight, is that right?
Defender, I fought with burning vigor this night. Do not belittle my efforts.
Right.
A knight does not just run away at the mere sight of fire.
No one even said anything about running away.
If I may be perfectly straight with you, the pillar of fire illuminated the area as it rose high into the air.
There by the fire was the witch, and excluding the 2 unfortunate knaves, I counted 3 others at the scene. Ah, I see. You're being a little crazy here, huh?
Hang on!
Why are you being crazy? Excuse me, Miss Kira. What do you want? You look like you had something to say about the testimony just now. Well, it was about the number of people at the crime scene. Have you ever played the Daisy Pedal game? The Daisy Pedal game? 1 witness, 2 witnesses, 3 witnesses, 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses, 6 witnesses.
What an adorable game. It seems like something out of a fairy tale.
Seriously, Your Honor? Anyway, you may continue your testimony, witness. Is she lying? Can I press her glasses here?
Objection!
I was just curious. Like she wouldn't have seen the flames. My bad. That was a mistake on my part. I just wanted to try. I'm sorry.
Let's continue on with the testimonies.
Hold it!
The tiniest cry. It might have been someone saying the incantation for that spell. My memory's kind of hazy on that one. Scared me good, though. Never jumped up to my feet so fast in all my life. Nearly had a heart attack, I tell you. Jumped up. That's right. It was still raining cats and dogs, so being the resourceful chap that I am, I decided to doze under a tree for a bit.
Hang on!
Is everything alright, Mr. Wordsmith? What is it that you want this time, young one? I just wanted to know if you had any thoughts on the testimony just now. Ah, yes. Thoughts about slumbering under the trees, you mean? Slumbering? I often find myself weaving the most intricate of dreams under that very tree. Of course I could not nap tonight, not with that uncouth man usurping my special dreaming spot, could I? Are you using this cross-examination to argue over a napping spot? Let us hope such arguments do not lead to any criminal acts in the future.
Witness, please continue your testimony.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely certain? Well, I believe so, but then when you think about it, can anyone really be absolutely certain of anything? It worries me that you're saying that in the middle of a cross-examination. I believe the witness means that there's no way she can be certain whether there were 4 witnesses or 5 at the crime scene. Anyhow, there was a matter of great importance that Snowy and I had to tend to. Ah, you must be. That's right, the milk. If any soot had gotten into that milk, it would be the tragedy to end all tragedies.
Hang on!
Could I stop there? You there, mister? Mister! Well, tone down the volume, Bluey. That's my line.
Does anything come to mind regarding Miss Mary's testimony?
Nope, not really. Nothing important anyway. Just that I think this old lady is full of it.
Huh?
I'm talking about the milkman. The milk. You know, the second you try this stuff, it ain't nothing to write home about, let me tell ya.
What are you saying, you dolt? Who on earth would let you drink anything as delicious as the milk from my farm? A ruffian like you is better served by whatever unthinkable liquid is in the never-ending mug of yours.
Are you guys using this cross-examination to argue over milk? Let us hope such arguments do not lead, yeah.
Hold it!
So including yourself, there were a total of 4 witnesses at the crime scene, correct?
That is how it has come to pass. By the way, what do you mean by stumbling around like a newborn calf? Ah, yes, that was a man as inebriated as he was loud. Quite the humorous sight it was, I dare say.
You must mean the witness permanently glued to his cup over whatever it is he's drinking.
When I saw the flames rise up into the sky, I wondered to myself, my word, whatever could that be? However, I could not simply walk over to check. My knees were a bit weak from the shock, you see. That's when the wobbly legged gentleman came running over.
Hang on!
Is something the matter, mister? Mister! Tone down, volume, Bluey. That's my line. Sir Blue Knight, next time please think before trying to press this witness. Looks like this guy even managed to scare Barnum half to death. Now then, sir, about Mr. Wordsmith's testimony just now. He claimed you were stumbling around. What does he mean by that? I'm gonna set the record straight right now. In no way was I stumbling around anywhere. I'd like to think of it more like staggering with style.
A responsible adult should know better than to go stumbling around in the dead of night.
Hey, look, I don't just go stumbling around like some clumsy idiot. I've got more sense than that. But anyway, I kinda tripped over a large stone. I mean, you don't exactly see what's on the ground in front of you when you're running at full pelt, right? So you could say I put my life out on the line, proving that you really need to watch where you're going when you run. How courageous of you. Someone give this guy a medal. My lord, this testimony is a meaningless waste of everyone's time. Well, defender, is there a point to this particular line of questioning? Is there anything worth pursuing here? What should I do?
Question further. The witness stated earlier that he tripped over a large stone. Mister, I have one question for you. Why weren't you watching what was in front of you?
Oh, to be honest with you, it ain't much of a real reason, but something suddenly caught me attention. Out of nowhere, I sort of heard someone call out my name.
You heard your name?
Of course, I turned around when I heard it. Who wouldn't? When a woman calls your name, you pay attention, am I right?
So you heard someone call out, "Hey you," from behind you?
What? I said they called out my name. How many guys do you know called "Hey you"? My name is Amir. And don't you forget it, Bluey. You hear?
I must say, this gentleman really does not strike me as an Amir. You know, Professor, it's not a very memorable name, huh?
That's harsh.
Honorable witness, is there anyone among you who was aware of this man's name prior to now? Not at all. He's always just been Mister to me.
A knight's name is only as good as the name of the sword he carries.
It is the first I have heard of this. I dare say I do not expect his name to be one such as Amir. I'm sorry, but I didn't know his name either. I only remember the names of my most loyal customers.
Okay. Looks like absolutely no one knows this witness's name. You know, it ain't really much of a surprise to me either. But seriously, I definitely heard someone call my name. When you get to be my age, you really start to wonder when you'll find that true love, you know? I thought that pretty voice tonight might have been my sweetie.
Your Honor, I don't believe we should be so quick to label Mr. Amir's testimony meaningless. Would you not agree? I request that the witness add this amusing anecdote to his testimony.
Understood. Witness, amend your testimony, but please reflect only the important points of your story. I'm telling you, I heard someone call my name, and I was looking around trying to find him.
Hold it!
Press it just for the just for the sake. I mean, Amir, you stated that you heard your name being called from behind. Are you absolutely sure about that?
Ah, well, right or wrong, it sure sounded like my name. I mean, what else could it have been? I wouldn't have remembered it happening if I had heard something, right? Still, maybe there's a chance I just imagined it, huh? But anyway, I remember it came from somewhere behind me.
From somewhere behind you. Is something the matter, Wright? Mr. Amir's memory isn't the most accurate, but if what he says is true, then there's definitely something there. Something, you say. Might you mean a contradiction? Yeah, I think so. Although, I don't know. There's just something strange about his testimony. I don't see any decisive evidence in the court records that can help. Do you mean to say you found a contradiction that cannot be supported by the evidence?
Objection!
My lord, this line of interrogation is a complete waste of the court's time. Defender, I must warn you from here on. Any unnecessary questioning will be dealt with accordingly.
If I don't answer correctly here, it's curtains for the trial and for Spella.
If you are intent on finding a fault in this witness's testimony, you will need to present decisive evidence to back up your claim.
There's not one single piece of decisive evidence in the court records. What do I do now? Mr. Wright, Mr. Layton, I have an idea. I believe there is a weapon of sorts with which you may be able to expose this contradiction without the need of evidence. A weapon.
Now, defender, give us your answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The defense finds that the witness's testimony contains a clear contradiction. I believe there's a huge contradiction in the witness's testimony.
Objection!
What is this? You must be an even bigger fool than I thought, Sir Blue Knight. You really do not possess even a sliver of common sense.
Objection!
If I may interrupt for just a moment, Inquisitor Barnum. Allow me to ask you this. What need is there for common sense in a world that forgoes using it? Accordingly, I must humbly ask that you discard such a manner of thinking. Whatever do you mean? You have my utmost thanks for placing your trust in me, Mr. Wright. Let us discuss the one remaining weapon in this cross-examination. The remaining weapon. This trial has taught us a valuable new technique to be used in the courtroom, hasn't it? You mean questioning, right, Professor? Indeed, it is, Luke. Each of the witnesses in this trial has given their own account of what occurred. Therefore, whenever one witness has testified, the other remaining witness has listened. That gives me an idea. In addition to catching a witness off guard and questioning them about another testimony, there is one more thing. There's something else we can get from a 5-person cross-examination. That's right, of course. Indeed, Mr. Wright, contradictions. Should one witness' testimony differ from another's testimony, then I suppose that in itself can also be considered a contradiction, can it not? Testimony contradicting testimony. I never would have thought of that until now. Enough, so Blue Knight. Are you prepared to present to the court evidence proving the contradiction within this witness's testimony? The witness's testimony does not contradict any evidence. It contradicts the testimony. What are you talking about? It is time, Mr. Wright. Have a look at the touchscreen. There you will see the testimonies of the witnesses in question, as well as those of other witnesses. Keep your eyes peeled and identify the contradicting testimony. Alright, let's give this another shot, Nick. And make sure you don't forget to take a look at the court record, too. His is empty. I don't see anything in particular.
Objection!
Gotcha. Double point. The person contradicting this man's testimony is none other than you, Miss Kira. Are you both pointing at me? At the time of the incident, that man heard someone's voice call his name. That voice belonged to you, Miss Akira. It could not have been anyone else. And yet, in your testimony, you stated that you were in such shock during tonight's events that you couldn't even speak. This is a clear contradiction.
Objection!
What? What is the meaning of this, defender? Can you really claim to trust this sham of a witness and his sham of a testimony?
Objection!
That man's character is beside the point. His testimony is anything but a sham. And he watched the flames erupt. His attention was drawn to a voice behind him, which in turn made him fall over. He heard a woman's voice calling his name, a very concrete reason, and reason enough to believe his testimony.
Objection!
If it is as you say, then explain why you feel this witness is somehow responsible. That's right. Why me? People barely hear me when I'm out selling my flowers. That's how soft my voice is. And besides, there was another woman at the scene, wasn't there? Me? What are you getting at, young lady? Do you honestly think a woman my age would be out late at night in the forest flirting with questionable men? Besides, I don't even know this pathetic man's name. How could I have called out to him? Neither did I, and even if I did know his name, do you really think he's the kind of guy any self-respecting girl would want? Come on, ladies. I'm standing right here, you know. As I was saying, the only person that guy could have heard from behind him was you, Miss Kira. The defense wishes to present evidence to prove this claim. To accuse a witness like this, young lady, why, this is simply unheard of. I must warn you, defender, if you cannot prove your accusation to this court, you will see the underside of my gavel. Show us the evidence proving this young lady was the one who called out to this man at the time of the crime.
Take that!
Oh, okay, my bad. It had to be, I know what it is. Well, I thought because you have to say a mirror to make stuff disappear and reappear, that's why she called it mirror.
Take that!
What? I can't believe I'm failing now. At the pivotal moment.
Take that!
Come on!
Take that!
She's behind him. I should have did that to begin with. Ugh, I'm sorry. Take a look at this, and you'll have your answer. This is the crime scene sketch.
You can see the position of each witness during the crime. The only person that he could possibly have heard from behind him was none other than Miss Kira.
Objection!
Listen here, Sir Blue Knight. I will only tell you this one more time. A sham of a witness yields only a sham of a testimony. That is all there is to it. Did you in fact see this flower girl's face?
Yeah, you know, now that you mention it, seeing as I'd fallen down and all, I don't think I saw her face.
Okay, but you heard her voice, right?
Let me think. The voice came out of nowhere. It was kind of high-pitched. And I guess it kind of sounded like her, but I can't say whether or not it was this girl's voice.
And there you have it, Sir Blue Knight. Such a pity. My lord, it is clear that the defense's claims is nothing but a pointless waste of the court's time. I recommend you deliver unto them a penalty befitting such behavior.
Indeed, Inquisitor. Ready yourself, Defender.
What is that laughter?
Pardon me, my lord. It looks like you finally arrived at a decision. That means this has nothing to do with me. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that it's time for me to stop peddling testimony and get back to peddling flowers. I mean, look at all these flowers left over. It's going to take until sunrise to sell them. If I stay here any longer... Or maybe, my lord, you and the rest of the court would be interested in buying my entire stock of flowers to help a girl out.
No, I don't think... I mean...
Then it's settled. Now, if you'll excuse me, my apologies for the interruption.
Understood. The court will dismiss the witness.
Well, Miss Kira,
It would seem you are beginning to show the court your true colors.
Oh? Whatever do you mean? Okay, then. Everyone, it looks like that.
Hold it!
Wait, you can't leave yet. This cross-examination isn't over.
Now that's funny. You say it isn't over, and yet the rest of the court seems to think otherwise. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum?
The Inquisition maintains that the real witch is the accused, Spella Cantabella. This girl is nothing more than a witness. As such, the court cannot force her to stay against her will. This is bad. If they let her walk out now...
And Nick, do you think she could be...
the real witch?
You really like throwing around accusations, don't you, Sir Defender? Let me spell it out for you, one last time, so even you can understand. I didn't know this man's name at all before today. I still don't remember it. So how could I have called out to him? Do you get it now? Now then, until we meet again, don't forget to buy some flowers on your way home, everyone.
Hold it!
One moment, please, Miss Kira.
Is there something else you wanted?
You don't seem to realize what you just let slip.
Well, what are you talking about?
This man testified that he heard his name called at the crime scene. However, you had no knowledge of his name at all. At the time, is that correct?
That's right. This weirdo was just imagining things. Like I said, I've already forgotten his name, even though he told it to us earlier.
There is just one problem, Miss Kira. Namely, what the voice he heard tonight was actually saying.
Huh?
What do you mean? That's obvious. It was a name, wasn't it? Now, what was that name again?
my lord, I'm still here, you know.
You're saying that what this man heard tonight wasn't a name, but rather something else entirely? Indeed, I am Inquisitor Barnum. Something else. Aha! There's only one other thing it could be. It's a stretch, but the possibility is there. That's right, Mr. Wright. That single possibility is the key to solving this mystery. Is the defense ready to present its evidence to the court?
This is ridiculous. I demand you let me go this instant.
Witness, what you are being accused of is not to be taken lightly. You will not leave this courtroom so long as any reasonable doubt remains. Defender, you may present your evidence. Show the court what the voice the man heard tonight really was.
Take that!
Excuse me, mister. I'm sorry. What's your name again? You've got a name that no one seems to be able to remember for some reason.
Hey, it's Amir. My name's Amir, darn it. How many times have I gotta say it?
No matter the number of times you say it, you do not look like an Amir. Again, I only remember my most loyal customers' names. And he doesn't look like he could afford even a single daisy.
Come on, guys. Stop kicking a guy when he's down.
Mr. Amir, what you heard tonight at the crime scene was not your name. Your name just so happens to sound exactly like a certain other name. Another name? The answer is right here in this tome. I'm talking about Amir.
Amir?
What he actually heard at the time wasn't his own name. It was the name of a magical incantation.
What? What the?
Miss Kira, have you forgotten what you said just a few minutes ago? You quite clearly stated that you didn't know this man's name.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, let me get this straight. You're saying that the Amir heard by the witness was actually said by this flower girl, and that it was not his name at all, but rather the incantation of a magic spell? The defense proposes the following. The true criminal, this supposed witch, is not the defendant, Miss Isabella Cantabella, but instead the witness who was heard uttering the magic incantation. Miss Kira, she's our witch. You used magic to vanish from the scene and tried to frame Miss Cantabella instead. No! What just happened? Is Isabella really not a witch? Unbelievable. I've never heard anything like this. Inquisitor Barnum. Have those two really defeated Inquisitor Barnum?
Objection!
What now? An impressive display, Sir Blue Knight. It would seem you have finally managed to hone your blade. However, I believe that blade's edge is already beginning to dull. What do you mean? I'm referring to a contradiction, naturally. Hey, that's my line. My lord, the Inquisition would like to set the record straight regarding what transpired this evening. Very well, Inquisitor Barnum. Sir Blue Knight, you claim the following. At the time of the crime, the accused, Isabella Cantabella, was surrounded by two rogues. Then, in order to frame the accused as a witch, Miss Kira cast the spell Demir and made herself vanish. She then moved in closer to the victims, at which point she cast Ignace, thus causing the incident seen by our witnesses tonight.
Indeed, that does seem to be the claim.
The problem is what happened next. There is a contradiction in the defense account of Miss Kira's movements. A contradiction in her movements? Allow me to continue. The witnesses have stated that they each ventured out toward the crime scene. Which is when Miss Kira the witch made her way to this point while still invisible. When she arrived at said spot, she then cast a mare and reappeared to join the other witnesses. And there you have it. That is accurate, isn't it, Sir Blue Knight? That's correct. Then Mr. Amir heard her call his name. Well then, I have but one question that I would like you to answer. Why would a witch need to do such a thing? What do you mean? Supposing Miss Kira were a witch, surely she would not have made the conscious decision to reappear when she did. One would imagine she would remain hidden and flee the crime scene. Quite right. That's what I'd do if I was a witch. Given that point, there would be no viable reason for her to recite the incantation, in other words.
It is inconceivable that this flower seller, Miss Kira, could be a witch.
What? Ooh, what just happened? Is Kira really not a witch? Inquisitor Barnum just turned this entire trial around. Just what I'd expect from Labyrinthia's Sword of Justice.
That's right! You all heard it! It's just as Inquisitor Barnum said! Me, a witch! The idea
Yeah, now
is
you just look like a
laughable.
super witch.
Not good. She's completely bounced back onto her feet.
Oh, we were so close to. I can't believe Inquisitor Barnum can't see it. You just have to take one good look at her. It's obvious she's the real witch here.
Remember, Mr. Wright, at times like this, a cool head will prevail.
Mr. Layton,
I'm sure you have had to fight your way out of circumstances such as these many times before. The situation is no different as a defense attorney. What would you usually do at such time?
what would I usually do?
Of course, there's only one thing that can get me out of a situation like this. I've got to flip this case on its head. Think outside the box.
It would seem the defense has nothing further to add.
Why, of course. That's because everyone knows the truth. They know that girl right there is the real witch. That settles it then. Go ahead and deliver your verdict, my
Objection!
lord.
Sorry about that. The situation is exactly as you described, Inquisitor Barnum. It really doesn't make much sense for the witch to have used a mare.